Dr. Davidson Nicol was an academic from Sierra Leone. He held a variety of prominent positions in politics, and he was also an award-winning writer. So while at Cambridge, Davidson actually established a remarkable scientific legacy. He was the first person to analyze the breakdown of insulin in the human body. Insulin is an important hormone which regulates glucose and metabolism. So his work in insulin, along with the work of his peers, helped to create therapies for diabetes. And diabetes is a disease which affects millions of people around the world. Aside from his accomplishments in the lab, Davidson also excelled outside of the lab. So he was the first Black African to graduate with first-class honors at the University of Cambridge. In addition, he was also the first Black African to become a fellow at a Cambridge college. In the laboratory of Florian Merkel, where I'm doing my PhD, I work with another important metabolic hormone called leptin. So leptin is produced by fat cells, and it is sensed by cells in the brain, which help to regulate appetite. Because fat cells are essentially the body's long-term fuel storage, low levels of leptin trigger food intake, while high levels regulate body weight. We're interested in understanding how brain cells sense leptin, since understanding this process will help us to understand how we can decrease appetite and help to develop treatments for obesity. We therefore study the receptor for leptin, which is like a lock that leptin binds to, like a key. The Merkel lab has actually developed methods of creating brain cells in a dish. So when we grow the brain cells in a dish, we're able to treat them with leptin and conduct a variety of downstream experiments so that we can better understand how leptin signals in the brain. We've also genetically modified the receptor for leptin so that we can better characterize how it behaves. We hope that the combination of this research helps us to better understand how leptin signals in the brain and also helps us to identify new therapies for the treatment of obesity. Like Davidson Nicol, I was also born in Africa, but I was born in Zambia. So after living in Zambia for a few years, my family actually moved to the US. And in the US, that's where my love for scientific research was actually cultivated. So following my undergraduate studies, I decided to complete my PhD in the lab of Florian Merkel because he was uniquely positioned to study mechanics of obesity. Davidson's work as an African researcher in the field of metabolic sciences inspires me as I pursue my own career in metabolic science. And I hope one day to also inspire fellow African scholars. We hope you enjoyed this segment about Davidson Nicol. Be sure to check out the rest of our Black History Month YouTube videos.